All right, talk about where you think the team's at.
All right, we did compete this weekend. We went down to Missouri Southern. We had our ladies competed or didn't compete this week. We had our Manja playing out there though, representing the women's team, and she had arguably her best race, and she ran at the regional meet last year, so that's a good place to be at. Now we just got to move up from there now, and hopefully get her a little ahead of where she was last year. But went out and ran with some girls that ran about a minute faster than her last week or 2 weeks ago or so at the Joplin Southern Stampede. So we've really come a long ways the last couple weeks, and it was great to see her finally break through. The guys followed that up, and just like she ran light years better than she did at the Stampede. Our boys, they definitely did the same thing. We would have liked to beat Missouri Southern, but we closed on them quite a bit. They averaged 50 seconds a runner faster than us back in September, and we were only about 13 seconds a runner behind them this time. So making up ground. I'd like to make up a little bit more, but if we get the chance to race against them in December, hopefully we'll be able to close that gap and maybe get ahead of them. But really on the boys' side, I had some great runs from some freshmen. Batari Ruganegwa, he stepped up and ran the way that I expect him to. And Justin Behill is a guy that just a walk-on guy last year and has really put the work in the last 2 years and has really found his stride and stepped up big for us to run as our number 5 and really cap off a great team effort.
Coach, you kind of compared the last 2 meets. There was South Plains College and then now here at Fort Hays State. The second, fourth place finish you mentioned was probably not the best, but then finishing third from the men's side at Fort Hays was probably one of the better finishes for you, and you mentioned how it was a much better race overall. You also had Theo that had a good performance as well. Talk a little bit about how Theo performed at the Fort Hays State.
I'll touch on the first half of what you were talking on there about South Plains versus this meet. We just threw South Plains on the schedule. I made a big schedule adjustment in the first place. We were supposed to go to Chicago and race in Lewis University, but after the Joplin meet, we weren't ready to go out there yet, so I adjusted things. Went to South Plains just to kind of shake the legs out a little bit, gain a little bit of confidence. We definitely weren't ready to go there, so I'm glad we didn't go to Chicago and race where we would have got our butts handed to us last week. So glad we didn't do that, but we were training since we left Joplin to get ready to run at Fort Hays, so we ran significantly better. If we would have ran that team, we would have won the South Plains meet if we would have ran the way we did this week. But really glad that we ran the way we did, because that's why I made the schedule change to go to Fort Hays, beat some teams out of the central region that we needed to beat to help ourselves in the at-large process. And just overall, fortunately, the decision played out for us with the schedule adjustment. In regards to Theo, yes, coming through as our number 1 for the second straight week. We got 4 guys, honestly, that could be our number 1 right now, and that's a great problem to have. But we do have to get a little bit better up at our numbers 1 and 2. We had about 40 seconds back from the top 10 to 15, top 10 guys in the race. We need to close that gap, because when you get those big meets at the end of the year, you need 1 or 2 guys up there as low sticks to really help out that point total and make sure that we will advance to the regional meets. So we need some guys in that top 20 by the time that we go up to Denver.